Hello, everyone. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. I just want to welcome you all to today's event. Please just let me know if you can hear me on the chat. Just let us know where you're watching from as well. If you can kindly post that on the chat, that will be much appreciated. I want to welcome you to today's event. It's a unique one like no other, and I just want to warmly welcome you. So I'm sure we've got people watching from different parts of the world, so you're warmly welcome today. Without further ado, because I just want to kind of dive straight into today's event. The title for today's event is Branding, a Catalyst for Accelerating Growth. And we have our very own Kenny Sobowale. I just want to give you a brief introduction of Kenny. Kenny Sobowale is one who has a very creative mind and always has a unique perspective when approaching issues due to her broad range of interests and hobbies. She's a designer and a brand consultant. She loves helping businesses and people and brands define, position, and grow. She designs and creates brand strategies, brand designs, content strategy, marketing strategy, creative design and production, event / interior branding at Kenda Creation, which is her startup company. At Kenda, she partners with other brands, individuals, and businesses alike from all over Nigeria and the world to create high-value results through any stage of their development by understanding their needs and then tailoring to custom-made solutions for them. She has also worked on a number of creative projects and campaigns for brands like Pay Attitude, Three Crowns Milk, Peak Yogurt, Total Corporation, IHS, Samsung, to mention just a few, and a host of other small-sized businesses. Her personal experiences and career struggles gave birth to a platform for training young creative, which she officially has launched later this year. And the mission for this platform is to help young creative launch and create or reach their full creative potential and ultimately reduce unemployment amongst young creative. I don't know, but I'm so looking forward to hearing Kenny today. And without further ado, I hope you guys can give her a virtual applause from wherever you're watching from, and just welcome our very own Kenny Sobowale. So Kenny, you're warmly welcome today.
Thank you, Ma. Good day, everyone. How are you doing? I trust that we are all doing fine. So, quickly, before we start, can you just drop in the chat box what you hope to take out from today's session? I'd like to know, so that you can, at the end of the session, so that you can check to know that you've been able to check those boxes. So it's very essential that you have something that you look forward to before the session. So just flood the comment section. So I'll just go right into it. When I was preparing for this session, I was thinking branding is very broad, and I really desire to ensure that everybody that attends this session is able to rework their business or realign their business such that they can experience growth after this session. So branding should be in your packaging, your experience, how people relate to you. Everything must change after this session. So I'm going to try as much as possible to give you a lot of points, a lot of tips, a lot of how-tos throughout the session. I might be fast. If I'm fast, let me know in the comment section, because I'm trying to cover up a lot of things in this session. So as a business owner, one of the first questions to ask yourself is, why am I in business? I know this sounds like cliche, but so many people don't have answers to this. So why am I in business? Am I just there to make profits? Am I there because there's a solution to a problem that I want to offer? Am I there because I noticed there is an unserved market and I feel like I have the solution to offer I have the solution that I can offer to this market? Or are you the person that says, oh, a lot of people are just offering a particular product, a particular service for huge amounts. And I feel like everybody should be able to get access to this premium information that I'm giving. Okay, so I'm going to do or deliver solutions at a very discounted rate for another set of audience. So why am I saying all this? Because throughout this entire process, you must be able to define who your target audience is, right? Who is my target audience? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? First off, before you even start building a brand. So you need to define all these things. Why am I in business? And having a business or being an entrepreneur is a process that will require you to learn on the job and through the job. So it's important that you focus and you learn fast. Try things. If it's not working for your brand, if you feel like you're not doing the right thing, learn fast and move on, right? It takes strength and character and wit for one to stay strong and to be in business. It's not easy. If you're in business because you feel like you have time for yourself, then you can't even build a brand. If what you're just doing is just, I want to make profit, I want money to be entering my account every month, you are not doing the right thing, right? And I'm not sure you won't be able to grow a brand, or you won't be able to sustain a brand. You won't be able to define some things about growing a brand. So what's branding? A lot of times when people hear branding, what comes to their head is logo design. What comes to their head is packaging. Some people, what comes to their head is that, oh, I am a startup. I don't need to focus on building a brand from scratch. But I'll tell you today that even while you're thinking of the name of your business or the idea of your business, you should be considering branding. You should be considering everything that entails branding. So branding is not just logo design. Branding is not just for the big companies. Branding is not a waste of time. Branding is worth it. In the times and the age that we are, it's worth it. So we moved from the times where branding used to be like you're at an edge if you take branding seriously, but now it's a priority. Every business, everybody, every person, every CEO must prioritize branding. So a brand, after all I've said, what is a brand? A brand is what people think about you, what people feel about you. It's perception, is what people act or what people say in relation to your brand. When people hear your brand, when people see your brand, when people see anything, your logo, mention your name, what comes to the mind of people is what your brand is, right? So when you think Coca-Cola, what comes to your mind? That is Coca-Cola's brand. So basically, people define your brand for you, but you can direct them on what you want them to think of your brand. I'll take that again. So people define your brand because branding is perception, is how they perceive you. So they are the ones that tell you what your brand is, but you might be the one, you might be doing all the work and everything, but they tell you what to do, but you can be at the driver's seat and say, okay, I want these people to perceive XYZ about my brand, right? A brand is how people perceive you, whether you are there, you are not there, whether you can control the situation or not. Your brand is what people think about you, what people say about you, what exists online about you. That's your brand, right? And brand identity is different from brand. A lot of people mix it together. When you say branding, when you say brand identity, they are different. People misuse those terms. Brand identity is how you want your brand to be portrayed. So brand identity will be like your logo, the tone, what you say and how you say it, how you communicate on social media, what your packaging looks like. That's all your brand identity. Brand identity is not even limited to visuals. Indomie, if you know Indomie has a unique smell compared to other noodles. That is one of their brand identity. So when you smell the seasoning, when somebody is cooking, you can tell that it is Indomie the person is cooking, Indomie noodles that the person is cooking, right? So brand identity is visuals, how people, visuals, the taste of your product is also your brand identity. When you taste a product, for example, you taste two different chocolates, you can tell the difference between two of them over time when you continue to eat. That's an identity of that particular brand. Okay, brand identity is different from brand image. Like I've said, brand identity is the result of the efforts of brand image. So, like I said, brand identity is the taste, the visuals, everything about your brand, the logo, the communication, design, and all that. That's brand identity. So quickly, let's go into the key things to consider when building a brand. I know that some people already have brands. I won't say brand, you have businesses, because you might be running a business and not be building a brand. They are two different things. So we need to check. So as I'm saying all these things, be taking notes. Are you actually building a brand, or you are just running a business? If you are just running a business, you need to start aligning your business to be a brand that exists, and people can perceive what you want them to actually, people can align themselves with your mission, your vision, your story, the entire big story of your brand. So the first thing is research. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, small business owners don't do research. That is why you end up struggling in the industry. For example, if I decide that I want to open for example, I want to see, okay, I'm seeing questions, it's quite distracting. Let me just, you can keep dropping about, I'll discipline myself not to read it. So I was talking about the soft drink industry. If I want to open a new brand today, in the soft drink industry, it would be wise of me to check Coca-Cola. What are they doing? What have they been doing in terms of design, how they've evolved in design, how they've evolved in production, in marketing and everything. You need to check all this about Coca-Cola. Check Biggie. I don't know if we paid attention to when Biggie came, and Biggie now, a lot of people don't agree, but Biggie now has a large share of soft drink, the market share of soft drinks in Nigeria. I don't even know where I outside Nigeria, but I know that all those people that hawk drinks, when you look at their tray, you can barely find Coca-Cola products on their trays, because now they discovered that a lot of people needed variety. They did Biggie orange, Biggie apple, Biggie lemon, Biggie Coke, different types of Biggie. So you can choose what you want. They're not enforcing the cola, the Fanta, and everything like Coca-Cola did, right? Doesn't mean that Coca-Cola doesn't have their target audience. No, they still have people that buy from them. But you need to, if you want to penetrate in a market that exists, you are starting a business, you want to scale, you need to constantly check what competition is doing so that you can level up to what competition is doing, and over time you can surpass them, right? So having said that, you must do research. You must do research. Don't say, it's not my business or something, or I'm just a small business. What do I know? Do research. What do you want to be in the next 10 years for your brand? You need to start building that 10 years now for your brand, right? If you go back down the lane, I don't know if you usually study brands, but you can look for a particular brand in your industry. For example, you're a fashion designer. Look for one fashion design company that you admire. Go back in time. Look at what they started with, how they've evolved. What did they do? If there's a particular trend among people in that your industry, you can adopt that to your business, right? You can even say, this is a flaw. I can correct this in terms of communication. I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. That's one of the things that research does for you when it comes to branding, positioning your brand right, knowing how to surpass competition, knowing what to do, how to leverage the market and all this. You need to do research, gather insights, go and talk to people. I usually talk to, one thing I do is, even when I'm in a bus, I try to engage the next person near me, especially when they say something. You might not need that information now, but you might need it later in the future. You go to make your hair in the salon. They are saying something about maybe an hairdresser, and you are a fashion designer. They're saying something about a tailor that did something and something and something. You're a fashion designer. You can ask questions so that you are understanding the pain points of consumers, and you can now position your brand ahead of, or you solve the problem. You do a lot of things that solves that problem that people are complaining about in your industry. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Please, in the comment section, drop once in a while. Let me know if you're following, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So the second thing is, you need to define a brand personality for yourself. I started with the points that you need to know your target audience, right? everybody can never be your target audience. A lot of people say, I'm trying to let everybody sell. Everybody cannot be your target audience. Everybody can purchase your product, but they are not all your target audience. Did you get that right? Everybody can purchase your product, but they're not your target audience. You need a streamlined target audience for your product. Let me give you an example. You're a fashion designer. Okay, no. You make small chops, right? I've been using fashion design a lot. You make small chops, and of course, a child of 7 years can eat small chops. But does it mean that the 7-year-old to 60-year-old, everybody is your target audience? No. You need to define your market. You need to say, okay, I'm trying to attract maybe working class people that can purchase XYZ products, maybe A class, B class, C class. You need to know, okay, is it females? Is it people that diet? You need to niche down, right? Define a particular segment for yourself. Everybody can purchase that product if it is nice, if it is well done, but everybody is not your target audience. Get that right from today. I know that a lot of people, they are in that space of, I want to sell to everybody. I want everybody to buy my product. No, everybody cannot buy your product. Because when you are determining the price of your product, you use your target audience. What does my target audience want? When you're creating communication, you are thinking of how does this person like to be spoken to? What words do the person use? What kind of lingual is in the person's space? Do you get, if, for example, I'm doing a product and I want to attract a, Tony Elumelu is too up there. Dangote is too up there. An R&D, right? You want to do a product for R&D. Of course, the way you even brand the product, the packaging of the product cannot be the same thing with somebody that is in the bank, even the bank MDs. They are not on the same level. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So everybody cannot be your target audience because they will limit your thinking. They will limit your packaging. They will limit the way you communicate because everybody will not relate to it. I mean, I'm saying slangs. Some people will not understand some slangs that you use because it's not in their space. That is not their lingual. That is not what they're doing. That is not what the category of people in that class do, right? The way things appeal to people, females, differs from the way it appeals. In fact, females generally, the teenage females, there's a particular way you talk to them. There's a particular way you talk to older females. There's a particular way you talk to working class females. There's a particular way you talk to undergraduates. So you need to understand your market, understand their psychography, their geography, and everything about your target audience, right? Having said that, you need to know your personality, the personality behind your brand. A lot of people make a mistake to enforce their personality on their brand. You are wrong. You need to understand the personality. So I call it an ideal customer. You need to have an ideal customer. Somebody, a persona, you create a virtual person for your brand. So you say this person is, after defining the person that you, the target audience, you say, okay, this person is 14 years old. She lives in Abuja. She likes eating this. She's willing to pay money to do this. Do you get? So you create a person for, that person doesn't have to be you. That person can be totally different from who you are. It is allowed. So don't force your preference on your brand. Do what your brand should do, not what Kenny likes, because Kenny is the CEO of the company. Do you understand? So for example, I want to create a persona of my brand. What do I do? Think of 3 words. Think of 3 adjectives. Let's take Nike, for example. Nike is a feminine brand. They push feminine, they push sports more, right? If you check them well, in recent times, a lot of their ads, a lot of things they do, a lot of their communication are towards females, towards sport. That's why you have people like, they're trying to create balance kind of in their marketing, in their communication, right? That's why you have people like, is it Serena Williams? Yes, as their brand ambassador, right? You need to look at all these things. What 3 words, when I think of my brand, when I think of the personality behind my brand, what 3 things comes to mind? A Coca-Cola, you're thinking of excitement, you're thinking of cheerfulness, you're thinking of love, you're thinking of sincerity. So when you see their colors, even from their color, the text, right, of their brand, the text of their brand, the colors of their brand, the adverts that they bring, when you see their television advert and everything, it aligns to the personality of their brand because they've established that personality. So you need to establish a personality for your brand, right? It might be difficult for some people to do this, but over time, when you sit down and think about it, research, you can even ask your customers, right? Why are you, if I ask you to use 3 words to describe my brand, what would you say? Use 3 adjectives, right? Tell them. They can tell you fun, they can tell you serious, they can tell you different things. So whatever it is that is consistent across broad, that is the brand that you've created in the mind of your customers, right? If you're a new brand, you can test, right? Ask people, sample, tell people this is what I'm trying to do on my business. Can you use 3 words or something like that? Ask people around you. Just ask generally. You will get answers to the 3 adjectives that they can use to describe your brand. You can even use that for your personal brand, right? This is a strictly business class, but for your personal brand, you can do the same. Ask people, why are you my friend? Why are you even in my space? Right? You want to define what people think about you, the perception that people have about you. That's one of the ways to do it, right? You talk to people. Kenny, why do you always come to me for XYZ? What do you think of me, right? Every time you keep coming to me, you've been in my space for like 5 years. Why are you still here? In the questions you ask, you will be able to define the brand that people have about you, the way people think about you, right? Let me go to the next thing. Choosing a name for your brand. I have cried sometimes on this issue. Some people will just murder the name of a business in the name of, I must register, CAC must approve something. You will not see sentence name. You are doing yourself harm and good. Your brand name is like, when you're thinking of brands, what you say first, even before their logo, is the name. Your name is everywhere. Everywhere is singing your praise. Everywhere. Yes, sentence name. You won't see some people, they give names that is off their brand. It's not even related to the service or the product or anything. It's like, they're like north and pole, east and west, north and south, unlike poles. It's not supposed to be. So let me make you understand business name now, how to choose your business name, right? Your business name, like I said, is that thing that is everywhere, is consistent everywhere. When you're thinking of your products, when people are talking about you, they must mention your name. The way the way my name is Kenny Sobowale, when people are talking about me, they cannot be saying get. They will say Kenny Sobowale XYZ XYZ. Same way for your business. When people are talking about your business, your name is everywhere, and it makes the first impression about you. If your name is something that I cannot remember, good and fine, you're out. So you will see Eberechuku and Sons. It is well. Let's leave it. That's for another day. So your business name must align with the vision, the mission, and the values of your business. You must have a strategy behind how you choose your name, right? It's not just, I woke up from the sleep. Yes, it can happen. No, there are exceptions to this. But you need to have a strategy behind how you chose or how you choose your name. Many people on this call might have to do a rebrand after this session. You might have to think, thankfully, we are still growing. So you might have to think of something or a way that you can rebrand yourself, rewrite the story, and begin to tell the story that you want for your brand, right? So like I said, your business name is the most used all over the place. It's the most used. A great name can't fix a bad experience. I've been talking about branding, perception, and everything. A great name, you can have a great name, a fantastic name, but the experience of your brand is bad. How do you converse with customers? What's your social media like? Are you the person that snobs? Are you the person that just does what you want? You just ignore excellence, right? If you like, have the best name in the world. If your experience is bad, it will damage your business. However, a bad experience can kill a great name, right? I already said a great name can't fix a bad experience, and a bad experience can kill a great name. It can kill a great, when you experience the experience of imagine, let me give you an off record. Let's look at Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs was awesome, great. Like when you're thinking of the restaurants in Nigeria then, no, Mr. Biggs will be the first that you will mention. Where are they now? Something changed in their process. They couldn't sustain something about the business. People began to have bad experiences. And where's the name now? We cannot find the name. They're just trying to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. That's a practical example of what I'm saying. So what is a great name? How do you know that you have a great business name? One, your business name must be timeless. If 20 years from now, the business name must still be able to stand the test of time. So Samsung, Apple, all those names, do you know how long they've been? A lot of Coca-Cola, do you know how long those names have been? Pepsi, do you know how long they have been? But some business names can, even next year, they cannot exist in next year. So if your business name is timeless, you have a great business name. Number two, your business name must be memorable. When people hear your business name, it should be something that can stick, something that creates an impression or an experience that people always remember your name. For example, Apple, I can never forget Apple because it's electronics, and Apple that I know is a fruit. So like when I try to think about the two, I can never forget that Apple, fruit, Apple, electronics. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Please let me know that you're understanding in the comments. Comments are stopped. I want to know that I'm with you and you guys are with me. Yes. Another thing, it must be any child, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, any child that can speak should be able to pronounce your business name. Any foreigner must be able to pronounce your business name. So all those people that give business names that are very Igbotic, very Yorubatic, if there's anything like that, right? All your business names, you need to rework it, please. A child that is just learning how to speak, that is learning phonics, that is learning all those things, should be able to pronounce your name, your business name. The syllables shouldn't be more than 3. It should not be sentence. The word should be max 3, right? So the best brand name doesn't describe themselves. You don't have to put sentence to have your business name, to register your business name, to say I am XYZ brand. You don't have to have a sentence. No, now. We need to be dynamic. We're not analog. We're not digital in thinking. So dear business owners, please. Divine Encounter Electronics. That's funny. So dear business owner, you need to start reworking your business. Thankfully, there's something called a rebrand. You can restructure all this and now come up with a rebrand for your brand. Come out afresh, come out anew, right? So the best brand names don't describe, they stand for a big idea, and the words are, they stand for a big idea, and the words are translated into emotional appeal, right? I wrote that because I didn't want to forget it. So let me read it again. The best brand names don't describe, they stand for a big idea, and the words are translated into emotional appeal. Like I made mention of Apple, I made mention of Nike, I made mention of Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all those brands are not just mere names that describe themselves. There's an emotion behind them, right? The brand. So before a person ventures into a business, right, like I said, you need to think about mission, vision, strategy, and everything. Now, how do I choose my business name? There are different types of business name, right? You can just make up a word. For example, Pepsi is just a word that somebody made up. Pepsi is a word that you made up. The next one is you can use a suggestive metaphor, like Amazon is a suggestive metaphor, right? Amazon is a suggestive metaphor. Nike is a suggestive metaphor too. You can reframe an unrelated word For example, I said Apple. Apple doesn't relate to electronics. Apple is food. Electronics are how they are unrelated, but you can still use that as a business name. As long as you have a story that you can tell about the brand that people can key into, right? The next is to describe it literally. To describe it literally, right? So most of this is mostly used in fashion industry, right? People that make shoes, people that make bags, they're the ones that you see, the shoe company, the bag company, the Onibata and all those things that they say literally. They are the ones that can do that. But if you're in tech space, you cannot write the tech company. Please, 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 please. Let's be guided. You cannot. So you can do the shoe company, you can do the bag industry, the bag house, makeup house, all those things. But I mean, you can be more creative with your brand than just write the shoe company. And I'm not even sure those names exist because a lot of brands have already taken them. So you can't use such anymore. You can use the initials of a long name. For example, BMW is a long name. If you know the meaning of BMW, I will not tell you, go and look for it. BMW is a very long name. That the initials is BMW. KFC too. KFC, it's a long name that they put the initials and they sold the initials of the name. So everybody's talking about KFC, but there's a name, a longer name behind KFC, right? The next one you can do is so a word, right? You can alter the spelling of the word. For example, Tumblr. I don't know if you know Tumblr is a brand. They removed the Tumble. They removed the E and wrote R. So it's Tumblr, no E in the brand name. So you can do something as creative as that and tell a story behind it. Just tell your brand story and people will align themselves to that brand and start pushing it for you. People will start selling the story of the brand for you. So now we go to the next one. Now that we've defined our brand, we know our target audience, we know the personality behind our brand. The next thing is to choose the look of your brand, right? Talking about look of your brand, you're talking about colors, the font of your brand, right? Before you choose colors or fonts, please, let me establish that colors and fonts have meanings. They symbolize different things, right? And they appeal differently to different target audience, right? A particular color, yellow, when children interpret yellow, it's different from how females interpret yellow. It's different from how old people interpret yellow. So you need to know your target audience, how they see things, right? To be able to choose brand colors for your brand. Having said that, if you're a female brand, please don't go and use green as your color. Green is only if you are a vegetarian brand or so. Even if you must, green should not be your only dominant color. Mix it with something, another color that speaks and appeal to females. You need to be able to tell your brand apart and establish the target audience for the brand such that when those people that you're trying to attract see any visual from you, any communication from you, they will jump on it naturally without you calling them to come and look at it. If they see your product package and the colors appeal to them, the fonts appeal to them, they will take it without somebody selling it to them. So the product itself will sell itself to the target audience. Having said that, brand colors, you have red. If you're a food company, you should be jumping on red, you should be jumping on yellow, you should be jumping on orange. Take cues from fresh foods. Carrot is orange, and pepper is red. When you mix all these things in food, I'm sure your stomach will even be, it will be calling you, I'm hungry, Anzami, I'm hungry. So you need to pay attention to colors in your space. Food company, please don't use blue as your color. Please, even if it's your best color, never use it. It's not your color. You need to look for what will attract your target audience, what will create the emotion and evoke the emotion that you want your brand to have on that person. So if I'm a food brand, I want people to come and eat. I want hunger, right? I want hunger, people to be hungry and come and eat. So when they see something, a visual for my company, when I snap something, when I design something, when I'm shooting a video, People are naturally hungry. See Cold Stone, they've been able to establish something that when they snap their pictures, you can't resist. You want to take Cold Stone, right? There are other brands like that too. Yes, if you're a premium brand, Black is premium. You need to understand simplicity when you're a premium brand. If you're pitching to be premium, you're trying to target them RMDs, them $10, them all those big people, then you want to attract the 1%, right, of the population. You shouldn't use colors that are everywhere and everywhere. You need to use, I call them stained color, but they are rare colors. Your brand should have those kind of colors. You're using it to play safe, just use black, use gold, use purple. If you're preaching royalty, wealth, all those things in that line, you can use all those colors. You can use deep blue and all those colors, but you need to do research. I can't tell you everything. If you do your research, you'll be wowed at the interpretation of different colors for your target audience, right? Having said that, fonts, there are different types of fonts. There's calligraphy, there's handwritten, there's sans serif, there are bold fonts, there are different types of typefaces, right? I'm using fonts because that is what a lot of people here will relate to, because you are not designers, but it's typeface. There are different types of typefaces, right? If I am talking to children, I cannot use fonts that are typefaces that are solid and rigid. Children are flexible, so your font should reflect that. You should be using funky fonts for children. You should be using playful fonts for children that will create the atmosphere that you want for the child with your brand. So if you're doing a package design for a child, make sure that the fonts on it, the colors, the pictures, the images, everything aligns and it can be easily interpreted. The child can easily interpret it and understand what you're trying to say. A font can say so many things. A particular typeface can say so many things beyond what you've written. So I saw an image online. I would look for it. I'm not sure I can lay my hands on it. Somebody wrote a love note, wrote it with a very funky font. I'm sure so many people have seen it. And somebody else wrote it with a font that has spikes. You're writing a love note. You are writing with a font that has spikes. I mean, the font is canceling what you are trying to write or what you're trying to say. So your font for your brand should also communicate what you want the brand to say, should also align to what the users will accept or what they resonate with, right? Fonts, you have calligraphy, I've said it. For women, if you're talking to women, you should use fonts that are not lanky. There are some fonts that when you write them, they look lanky, they look thin, they don't look healthy. Use healthy fonts. Make sure you check with your designer. If you're the designer, make sure you do the right things for your brand, where font is concerned, where color is concerned. Now, designing your logo. You've been able to establish that for my brand, I shouldn't use green color if I'm talking to women. I shouldn't use a particular color if I'm talking to children. I shouldn't use black if I'm talking to children. Please, if you're a children brand, stay away from black. You should be going to flashy colors, because if you pour a lot of balls in a room and you put children to pick ball, they will not start picking from the black balls. They will not pick the brown balls. They will start picking yellow, orange. So you need to understand all these things and apply to your brand. If you are doing food and you put 2 pictures of food or designs of food, the one that will attract me is the one that has green and red and orange and every other thing that naturally, when I think of food, when I think of natural food, comes to mind. So designing your logo. Brand identity is very, very important. Having a professional do you a logo, it's very important. Your logo is like the face of your brand. You know the way we don't joke with our face, right? That's the way you shouldn't joke with the logo of your brand. Don't compromise on the logo of your brand. Don't ever. Now I'm saying warning. I have seen some people on this call and I'm rebuking you now. Your logo, if it is a mock-up, you know all those 500 naira mock-ups that you people usually do, please go and throw it away. I am saying it openly now. Please, we are now deliberate about building a brand. So you can't afford to use a mock-up as a logo. You can't afford to use it. It's so even if you're trying to represent your brand or project your brand, say I am premium, but that your logo has brought you to dimium. If there's anything like that, it has brought you down to under the table, to grassroots. You're not talking to E-class, right? So almost your logos that are looking like what I don't know. Let me not describe. Please, we are starting afresh, right? Everybody, you need to prioritize logo now. All the mock-up gangs, yes, I can see it. Go and throw all those things away. Mock-up is not logo. Please, as much as you are trying to do, I understand your growth process. I understand that you might not be able to afford so much, but there are different ways that you can get somebody to do something for you when it comes to designs. You can either collaborate, trade skills, trade something, right? Another thing to do is ask the person if you can pay in installments. So you know that you're going to do the logo now, but you will pay over a period of time. There are some companies that give you that kind of plan for small business owners. They allow you to pay on installments, but you need to have a contract with them, and they must see the willingness and readiness to make your business work, because nobody wants to commit to something that will fail. So that's an option. You can also do that with company. Get a professional to do you a logo. Get a professional to do you visuals. Even if you need to learn. I know that Canva, a lot of people now use Canva for their designs, but please do it well. No matter how simple, it's better you stay simple than pack 5, 10, 15 pictures together and your design is just picking local. I'm sorry, but I need to check some tables here. Your design is just shouting and screaming, local, 5 naira, 10 naira, 2 for 5 naira. But you are telling them to come and buy your product for 10,000 naira. You're telling them to come and buy your product. Please, let's stop. You even see some designers that are good. I'm not saying the Shomolu ones, right? I like to say Shomolu ones, right? So for off record, I let me just explain. When I say Shomolu, I mean people that are not well educated, but they just found themselves in the space where they do designs. So they just do any design. They don't care about your brand. They just want to make the money. They just want to make the 500, the 1,000. Please go to professionals, people that are well read. There are some people that don't even read design, but they've developed themselves. With 10,000 naira, some people will do logo for you. With 20,000 naira, some people will do logo for you. But I mean, is it not better? Let's think about it. Is it not better for you to say that I want to commit to doing a good logo design for my company now for maybe 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira, and I can use that brand identity, that image to make a lot of money than for you to be using designs that are screaming 5 naira, 10 naira, and you're struggling with your business. You don't know that the designs that you use to communicate to your clients create a perception, and even the price that you will call. Some people will be eyeing you from head to toe that what is this one saying? Is it with this design that you want to collect 100,000 naira for me? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I understand your growth process, I understand your phase, but you need to understand that you need to prioritize these things too. 5,000 naira can get you a design done. You can look for people that can do designs for you and can create maybe a 1-month plan or a 2-month plan or whatever it is for you, for your business, right? There are businesses like that exist. Look for them deliberately because you want your business to grow, because you want to project your business rightly. Yes, that said, let's now go into how your logo should look like. Your logo should be simple. You might not be the one to design the logo, but you need to understand this as a business owner. Because like I said, if you go and meet somebody that's not a professional, the person will do you Shomolu design and you will take it because you don't know. So we need to inform you. And I need to let you know what should be the standard or the minimum that you should accept from anybody that is doing logo design in case you want to rebrand or you want to rework your design now or in the nearest future. Your design should be very, very simple. When you look at your design, logos are not supposed to show and tell. So when I mean show and tell, I'm a fashion business. Because I'm a fashion business, you are seeing sewing machine, you are seeing hanger, you are seeing needle and thread, you are seeing clothes, You are seeing pilot. It's not film that we're shooting. It's logo design. You can just do something very minimal. So in your logo, if you look at your logo and you can take some elements out of your logo and the logo will still make sense, right? That means you don't have a logo. So what I'm trying to say is, look at your logo today, tomorrow, any day, or any day you decide to do a logo. Look at your logo. If the designer does anything or adds any elements that when you remove it from your logo, right, the logo will still make sense. Then by then, that's when you have a logo. Yes, I just saw a comment, less is more. Your logo should not tell, show and tell. Just the initials of your logo can make so much sense. Look at Nike. Nike just has a mark. Look at Amazon. Amazon is just a smile that comes from A to Z. Storylines, you can just use shapes. You can use some things. So logo is not, we're acting drama. Logo is not show and tell. Logo can just be just an icon or something that they design that can tell the entire story of your brand. People can relate to the entire experience of your brand through your logo. Your logo should be simple, very, very simple. No drama everywhere, no hand coming out here, no turkey, chicken, everything in one logo. Please leave the chicken and the everything for the next person that wants to do the logo. So that being said, right? Oh my God, I've said a lot of things that is the table still standing? It is well. So continuing from where I stopped, she says Shomolu style, yes. So continue from where I stopped about logo design. Your logo color shouldn't be more than 2, 3. I beg you. 2, max 3. Your logo should not be more than 3 colors, right? As much as possible, right? I will tell you to stay away from gradient logo, because sometimes it's limiting. Because when you're designing a logo, you need to think of different other places that your logo can be on or your logo will exist on. So you're thinking of, I'm going to build a website in 2 years from now, and I need an avatar or a favicon that will be at the icon of my logo. I'm going to do an app. I'm going to do this. So your logo should also give allowance for all these other things that you might do in the nearest future, right? So that's why your logo should be as simple as possible. Look at FedEx. If you know FedEx has a lot of extensions. We call them brand extensions. Just like Jumia has a lot of brand extensions. We see Google has a lot of brand extensions. You have Google Play, you have Google Play Store, you have everything. It's just shapes they're playing around with on Google. But their colors still stay. In recent times, Google still did a rebrand. They are trying to make sure that everything syncs, everything is aligned. When they purchase a new product or a new service or they create one, they still make the logo look and feel look the same way like the brand extension. So your brand, like I said, for your business name, your logo should allow for extensions. Your logo should allow for extensions. For example, I want to do Kenda Travels. I want to do Kenda giveaway. I want to do Kenda, like Jumia Food, Jumia Travels, Jumia, a lot of things. Your brand colors, your brand names, and all those things should be able to accommodate all this in the nearest future without having to do a rebrand. So you need to get it right from scratch. You need to get it right from the first time you're starting everything about your brand. When you're defining, because it's difficult for, I tell brands to small business owners to prioritize this thing when you're still small. Why? Because you can't tell your growth process. It's not nice that you now have to start the entire process again after you do a rebrand or a relaunch or something. Right? Start now, then grow that perception, grow the experience. All you can do is just maybe tweaking, refining. You don't need to do an overhaul where you have to change the entire thing because now you're using a logo that has 5 colors, a logo that has 10 colors. It's better for you to play with the shades of blue, right? Play with 3 shades of blue and 1 other color, or black and something, right? Than to have green, blue, yellow, because you want to show that you're a food company. You want to show that you are this. You now have the entire thing. So machine. Some people, and again, please, I beg you, whenever you do a logo, go and Google search your logo. Go and search your logo. Do image search for your logo. If you find anything that relates to your logo online, think of another thing to do. Because in the nearest future, you'll be struggling with loyalty. You'll be struggling because when you build your brand and there's a lookalike of your brand, what do you want to say to your customers? When people are seeing a clone of your brand in the markets, there's a struggle, there's a fight between you and that other brand. So as much as you can, you need to do something that is unique to you. It's difficult. Let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not a day job. But when you are doing it gradually and you have somebody that is an expert that is guiding you, everything will be seamless. The person will be able to advise you. You tell the person what you want and all that, right? So your logo doesn't have to be text alone. Your logo can be text and icon. But now, because you have to do websites, you have to do some other thing, mobile app, you need to do several other things. I'll tell you that when you are doing your logo, try to have an icon too. So you see KFC logo, they have KFC, the word mark. In design space, in brand identity, we call it word mark. You have the word mark. The word mark still exists, can stand alone on some platform, right? It can stand alone on some platforms alone. So you don't have to use the entire chunk of your logo in different places. So you put your logo somewhere, the text, maybe in a particular place, you put the icon, you use the two together, you can play around with your logo and give a total experience. I hope that you've been able to get a lot of things from this session, right? I have to stop now so that I can take a lot of questions and then respond to you. I hope you had a great time and you learned a lot.
Wow, wow, wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I gleaned quite a lot, Kenny, from all that you have been saying about branding. I will just allow for some questions to come in because I think that, you know, a lot of people have got questions, even on the chat. Some people are saying, this is superb, this is mind-blowing. This is supposed to be a paid masterclass. Thank you so much, Kenny. I mean, there's been a lot. I've just been typing away some of the gems that you have actually said. The best brand name, I mean, this is my key takeaway from all of this. The best brand name does not describe itself. They stand for a big idea and the words are translated into emotional appeal. Wow. That for me crystallizes everything you have been saying. So I will just open up the floor for questions. I know that there was one earlier on. Let me see if I can actually find that question. Please, I just want to crave indulgence of our audience. Please, you know, keep your questions coming. There are people watching on YouTube as well. Please just let us know your questions and then we can be picking that up from here. So I think one person have asked, okay, just trying to find out what's, I don't know if you go, okay. This person says, what is the difference between a brand and a business? Because both still boils down to the same thing. So this person needs some clarification on how does a brand differ from a business? So if you can shed more light on that, please. Okay. Over to you, Penny.
Okay, so the difference between a brand, the difference between when you are growing a brand and when you're just operating a business for profit and loss, and for, no, we don't make losses, for profit, right, is that when you are growing a brand, you are deliberate about the experience, you are deliberate about every other thing. For a business, you're just running a business. You don't pay attention to, even down to what your packaging looks like when you want to do a delivery, how you send a delivery out to a customer. Somebody that is brand centric and brand sensitive about every other thing, right? It's deliberate about not sending food through a dispatch rider that is not well trained, that will just do your business anyhow, right? Let me give you an example. People in the event space, if you are particular about branding, right, down to the person that is doing ushering for you, the little details, you will not leave something spilled on the floor. because you know that all these details can make a or mar your business, right? So people will see these things. People will just, it creates a perception of she's not excellent. She's not somebody that pays attention to detail. Does it mean that you're not still operating business? You are operating as a business person, but the higher level to it is that you are a brand, not just a business. There's a story that you've put out and you're living up to that story. You're paying attention to a business owner might just be doing what he wants as long as I'm selling and making the profit. But a brand person wants to ensure that he's meeting the needs, giving value, is living up to the standard of what the brand, the expectation of what the user wants and everything. So it is deep. It's not just about I sell, I buy, I sell, I buy, right? Branding is more than that. Branding is being intentional about the entire process. You're intentional about how you sew. So if you're a brand, right, let me give you this example. If you're a brand, if you're a fashion brand, you sew. The difference between a brand and a tailor is because down to, it was, I think 2 years ago that I knew that there are standard stitches to an inch on your clothes. There should be more than a particular stitch in an inch as a fashion designer. So when you're a brand, you take your business to another level and not just sew and just be anyone. You want to make a mark. You want to create an image about your brand. You're not just anywhere I see, now I buy. Do you get?
Hey, I've got someone who wants to ask a question. Please, can you unmute yourself? And if you can, kindly show us a video of you, if you don't mind. Yes, Manzo.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for joining in late. Just to add to what Kenny said, like she's very correct. But first thing first, she was trying to avoid the loss part of business. It is valid, losses can come, right? But how you are able to turn it around and know how to add more value for you to make profit, that's what is most important. So you should not say there will not be losses. Let's be realistic. Sometimes losses would come, and that is just the truth about business. And back to branding, how I see it is like empathy. You're just putting yourself in the shoes of your customers. It is relatable. Like if you are just, like you mentioned, if you're just running a business, it means you just want to make profit, make profit or loss, or you just want to sell and cash out and move on. You don't really care about your customers. But when you are building a brand, you would see that your customers will understand your value proposition. You are working with them. It will get to a point where they would want to even reach out to you. When something as little as color, when they see purple, what they remember is Kenny, like Kenny stitches, and be like, oh, this resonates to something. Exactly. That's why when we see GT Bank, we see orange all over. The first thing that comes to our head is GT Bank. So because they've been able to build a brand over time, and like you said, it is very hard. It is actually very hard, but with consistency, like we all can get to that point. Thank you.
Yeah, very well said, Manzo. Yes.
I have a question, maybe whilst waiting for others, because I think some people are still typing away. Let's just give them a bit of time to do that. You did mention that in case your brand is not quite, it's not what it's supposed to be, right? People can still rebrand and relaunch. Now, some people might be listening now wondering, how can I do that? Am I exactly at this particular point where my brand needs help, right? My logo needs help. So how do I rebrand myself and relaunch myself? What if my customers or my clients no longer recognize me, in a way that I want to kind of put myself across? So what would you say? What advice would you give to people that find themselves in this situation?
Okay, so there are two reasons why you can do a rebrand, right? The fact that your visuals and everything, like you said, doesn't really project the image of the brand. The next level is when the experience is not right. So your question covers the two, right? The experience, what people are experiencing is not what you want them to, or maybe what they are satisfied with is not what you want your business to exist for. So what you can do is go back to your drawing board. That's the first thing. Go back to why I started my business. Go back to your why. Why do I exist? Who is my target audience? Try to do an analysis. What are the things that are wrong, right? What do I need to fix? When you understand, you list all those things, then you now take the next step. Who can fix this for me? If it's a designer, you talk to a designer. If you need to talk to a brand consultant, you talk to a brand consultant. That person can now let you know if at this stage of your business, sometimes you might need a rebrand, but at that stage of your business, you might not need the rebrand. You might need to do something else that is not a rebrand. So you need to talk to somebody that understands branding and is a brand consultant, is a designer. But if you're getting everything right, your strategy is right, but it's only visuals that is wrong, you can talk to a designer. The person can help you set it right when it comes to that. Then you have to deliberately and consistently give value to rewrite the story, right? So to do a rebrand, right, you don't just come back and start dumping things at people with the new brand. No, you have to plan a strategy on how you're going to rewrite the story. You're going to change the perception of people, what they think and what they feel about your brand.
Great. Thank you so much for elucidating on that point. I've got someone who has got her hands raised. Dear Collection, Deborah, do you want to come in?
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful, the question I wanted to ask right now. So I wanted to say that, so for instance, if I have so many things.
Okay, we lost her now.
Okay, Min. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Is it possible to turn on your camera if you can, please?
Oh no, I can't turn on my camera right now.
Carry on.
Okay, all right. So I'm asking that, for instance, I have some things checked, to say maybe logo checked, color checked, and all of those things. But wanting to put in the right, I don't know, should I call it visual? Then it's proceeding to how my packaging looks like, all of those things, my customer experience, my client experience. So I really just want to ask, so how do I, and I'm then trying to avoid not consulting with maybe graphics designer and all that, because sometimes I'm usually very afraid of the fact that they might not be able to convey what I actually want. So them not giving me one kind thing. But I know that personally, I'm at a point wherein I want to pay attention to how do I put it? How my clients feel on the long run, to say maybe the branding and all of those things. I don't know if my question is clear anyways.
Not exactly. So what are you currently doing and what have you done, so that you can understand, I can understand very well and can.
Okay, from the session we had today, I can, categorically say that some things are in place. The end product, the byproduct is just my major concern when it comes to, I have my colors checked, I have my logos checked, I have my business name checked. But when it comes to this packaging, the experience, the customer experience, and customer experience. Okay, yeah.
Do you mean
Do I mean what?
Do you mean after you create for example, I know that you do bags, right? So after you create the bags, right? So what's the question?
Yes, the after experience, how we get to deliver, the branding, the packaging, yeah.
Okay.
And
so you don't just want
to do what everybody is doing. You get it.
I get it now. So you don't want it. So what you should look at is, what category of people are patronizing you? Can they afford the level of packaging that you want to do? If they can't, then you are targeting the wrong people, right? So create something that even when you add the cost of that package to the product, they are still willing to buy, right? So I can give you, one of the things you can do is you can do a box. A box can be how you package your bags. If you don't want to use the regular nylons or paper and all those things that people used to sell them.
Wow. I think we've lost Kenny.
Okay. The way they do box of shoes. Sorry about that. The way they do box of shoes.
Okay.
You can do a. So you can do a box like that. We can talk later.
We couldn't hear most of what you said because you were breaking off.
Oh, I said she can do a box for. So basically, you need to understand the buying power of your target audience to know whether you should add anything that is going to be extra cost. Because if you have to do a box or you have to do some things, some other things, it will cost you maybe like an extra 2,000. Will your customer be willing to pay when you add that cost to your present cost selling price? So you need to understand the purchasing power. We can talk later so that I can advise you on what to do and what not to do, where packaging is concerned.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Manzo's hand is up.
Yes. Let me bring her in now. Manzo, please, do you want to come in?
Okay. Okay. Yes, please. So just to add to what Kenny has said, Dia, one of the things I would ask is, what experience do you want your customers to have when they come across Dia? How do you want them to feel? Like, because with what you said, you already have gotten everything in place, from the name, the brand itself, and the logo, but you want to know how to package and the customer experience entirely. So if I buy something from Dia today, will I feel happy? Will I feel warm? Will I have this empathy kind of feeling? What kind of feeling do you want to have? Is it a happy person? Like, so on your social media, what kind of energy do you even put out? I think that is one of the things that would define how your brand would be, or the kind of packaging you give to your customers. Because at some point when they get to buy your stuff, and from your thank you card, there's the kind of energy that comes out of it and says Dia Collection is a one-stop shop for happy stuff. Like, she's a happy person, she's a serious person, she's a straight to the point kind of person. So the kind of energy, the kind of experience you want your customers to have is also part of the things that would define how your packaging would be and how your brand would be at the end.
Yeah, good addition. Yes. Then also, like I said earlier, you need to prioritize your target audience. You need to, because in the end, it's not about you, it's about them. So don't go and do what they will not embrace or what they will not appreciate. So sometimes you might need to retarget your business or your idea and start attracting the people that you want, or the main target audience for your business. You might not be serving them now, but for you to make that addition, like Manzo has said, what's the experience, what's everything, you need to go back to your why. You need to go back to what experience, what's target audience are you trying to attract, and all these things. It will help you now create the brand that you want them to be, to perceive you as, the experience that you want them to have about you, and all, right? We can talk about it. Any other questions?
Well, I can't see anyone for now. Just checked on Facebook, and I'm also looking on the chat. I can't see anyone for now. But assuming some people might be listening to you right now and say, oh, they want to find Kenny, Kendra Creation. So where are you? Where are you based virtually? How can people find you? Because that would be something that I think our audience today would benefit from, to know where you are and how they can find you. You're mute, Kenny. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Kendra Creations is online on social media, but for now we are paused on social media. We're not really posting on social media. So we're Kendra Creations NG on social media. But if you need to send an email or you need to contact us, you can contact me, right, as the first contact, the first call, then I'll direct you to the right party. On my Instagram, there's a place where you can send a chat or a quote or something that will redirect you to a link that you can talk to somebody, if not me. But if you need to talk to me, you can talk to me via Kenny_Sobowale on Instagram, or search for Kenny Sobowale. If you see somebody that looks like me, then it's me. Let's talk, let's chat. I'll be willing to help you.
All right. I'll put your details anyways in the description, details on the YouTube channel. So just in case someone would want to reach out to you, they would get to know you. There's another question right now on the chat. Someone is asking, it's funny how after going through all this branding process and the client will still want your product for less.
They are not your clients.
Yes. How do we deal with these kind of people?
They are not your clients. Go for your clients. Go and look for your clients. They are not your clients. So your clients would, that's why I said your clients or your target audience will naturally get attracted to whatever it is that you're putting out there. So you need to look for a way to get to those people, right? You need to understand your, you need to understand, who am I talking to? Who do I want my business to serve? That's why you need to define target audience and all those people. But like I said, when I was talking about target audience, you have core target audience and you have other people, right? You can create an exception for some people, right? Create packages if you need to, so that you can accommodate those people. There are some brands that do that, but there are some brands that this is who I stand for. If you cannot do this, please go and look for. There are other people that still do what I do, but this is what I do. If you cannot keep up to what I stand for, then you are not my target audience. Because I mean, I don't want to stress myself when I'm as a business owner in a way, right? When you are doing everything right and there are some clients that are just difficult, they are not your clients, right? They are not. That's why you need to understand who is your client, who is your target audience. You need to know all this, right? But if you want further explanation, right, there are some, so I usually when questions like this come up, I like to know what you are doing, what you are not doing, so that I can give you the right how to or what not to do for your brand.
Oh, thank you. Let me bring in Manzo. I think she wants to chime in. Manzo.
Yes, just to add, see, Kelly, I should just go. Like, they're not your customers, really. And I think for business owners, right, I understand the fact that we want to make sales. It is sure. We want to sustain our businesses. But again, can you hear me?
No supposed to work in here. Supposed to work in here. Someone say,
hello.
Go on. Sorry.
Okay. So, like I was saying, for business owners, right, there's always this point where we want to just make sales regardless. We want to sell, we want to have turnovers. It is valid. I understand that fact. But again, if you look at it, let's assume you have a luxury product of 100,000 naira per product and you sell to just 5 people. You have 500,000 naira already. But you have a commercial product for 1,000 naira and you are struggling to sell to 200 people. That is 200,000 naira. To you, that is like, to me, it's vanity metrics, right? It is a point of metrics to you that you sold to 200 people and it is amazing. But again, if you understand the solution you are providing, it will distinct you from what you want and what you don't want. And your customers will understand that. And that is why I really, really like what Kenny said. They are not your customers, really. If you can clearly identify your customers, right, and you know the solution and they understand the value proposition that you are presenting to the market, they would buy regardless. They only complain. And when they complain, okay, why do people buy luxury products? They still pay for those stuff, right? And they are making sales regardless of if someone like me will say, okay, buying a car of over $1 million of nairas, it's vanity. To me, it's vanity. But people who have the money, it's not vanity because they are their target audience, their target customers. But they're not I'm not their target market, right? So I think for us as business owners, right, we should just be able to identify our solutions and know the value we are providing. Stick to it regardless. It is very hard. I know sometimes sales might not come, but it will come. And when it comes, we'll be at that comfort zone where we'll be making our turnover and we are not stressing ourselves too much to make these monies, because at the end, we are all humans and we have to live.
So I wanted to give a practical example. Apple products are not cheap, but Apple is almost everywhere in the hands of almost every average Nigerian. Why do they still struggle to go the length to buy Apple products? It's because of the way they've established their brand. People want to get associated with the brand. So if you are doing everything right and you're doing everything like everything is just one or an exception or something, then they are not your clients. But if that is the norm, the complaint is everywhere, then you need to go back to your drawing board. But if you're doing everything right and it's just one customer, two customer, don't allow that one person stress you. Face the goal, face the mission, go after the vision and do what you're supposed to do. Naturally, over time, those people that are they are getting the right experience, the great experience for your brand, they become the ambassador of your brand. They are the one that will be singing the praises of your brand. And naturally, they'll become influencers. So don't get distracted because one person is complaining and the person is stressing you out on everything you need. So that's it.
Wow, amazing. I think Manzo, do you want to come in again? I think you have
Sorry,
some.
I think this is hitting me, so that is why I want to really talk about it. So another thing again to look at the your customer life value, the long-term value, right? Just as Kenny had said, if you know you're doing everything right and they are coming and it's just like 5 customers you are targeting, you should look at the long-term value of these people. That is how they evaluate businesses, or they evaluate business, and it's how people give out equity. It is not about now. It's about where you are going to. You're not doing your business because you want to fold up in the next 3 months. It is a long-term thing, except you just want to use to catch time or pass time and close up and move on. But if you look at it that in the next 5 years, I'm going to this place, regardless, it is my goal, and you have 5 customers now, satisfy those customers. It is easier for you to have recurring customers than for you to get a new customer. Those people will become your ambassadors. They will keep referring you. You'll just be somewhere and someone will say, oh, call this person. They do this, and this. And over time, they'll just keep coming. And that's like the customer lifetime value. And if you really want to calculate that, it's not just one purchase, but recurring purchases and referrals.
Amazing. That's spot on. I can see on the chat, there are ways brands distinguish themselves. I can see someone write Lamborghini cars, Ferrari. I mean, they don't sell to everyone, so they're kind of very focused on their market. I've got someone else who has got her hands raised. Eunice, do you have a question you want to ask? Or Kenny, you want to comment on this before?
Yeah, I wanted to say something before Eunice. There's a brand, is it Bugatti or Lamborghini? There's a car like that, right? Their brand story. I wanted to establish brand story. The fact that you need to live up to your brand story. So every brand should have a brand story because that's what people resonate with. People are in sync with the emotions, the everything about your brand because of what you've established with your brand story and your brand identity and everything. There's a brand that I can't really place the name of the brand, but the brand, their story or what they say is they don't have broken vehicles. You can never have a broken vehicle if you purchase their car, right? So what I'm trying to say is living up to your brand promise and making sure that people are loyal to your brand. So if you're saying that I don't have broken vehicles, somebody called them to say, I heard of the story, I don't know the person personally, right? So somebody called them and that he had a broken vehicle. They flew an helicopter from their factory to the person's place where the person broke down the vehicle. They fixed the vehicle and did not collect 1 naira. Months later, the person called them and was asking for the bills that XYZ time he had. They said they don't know what the guy is saying. They don't have a record of it. What I'm trying to say is live up to your brand story. Go all out to make sure that you are living up to whatever you say. So don't just go out and just be the brand that just blabs and give promises and you're not living up to it. Take it step at a time. Make sure what you say you are doing it and how you say you're going to do it, you're doing it. If you promise people A, don't allow it to be what I buy versus what I got. How do they say that thing? So that's what I just wanted to say. Make sure that your brand promise, you live up to it and make sure that people trust your brand, build brand trust. Even you as a CEO, I think we need to have another session for brand CEOs, like entrepreneurs, the CEOs, the owners of the business and your staff, because you need to take branding seriously. people associate with humans, the personality behind the brand, not just the brand name. So all these are part of it, right? So I can go on and on when it comes to branding.
Wow, amazing. I mean, you've shared a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. Your words have been so powerfully put across to everyone this night. I've got Kenny Stitches. Kenny Stitches, do you want to ask a question? You can unmute yourself, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Kenny.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for the lecture. It's superb, as in very, very amazing. I got so many things. It's nice. I pray God continue to help you. So I just want to add to what you and Manzo said. That is about the some people they are not determined. Some people feel like since I'm not getting customers, or people are not patronizing me, they tend to like sell. They tend to sell at lower price. Like, though sometimes it may pay you in a way. Like, probably, for instance, now you sew a dress for someone, and then at least the gain of 500 naira for you, at least it's not really bad. It is a gain. But then it's not worth it. Sure, you get, but because there is no customer, and then in Nigeria we all need the money, and all we are hustling to get, and also some people tend to like just get anything, or just give in anything because of that. Because it happened to me even yesterday when I went to a customer to collect a fabric, and then I measured. She was saying she's going to pay. Like I charged her 2,500 naira. She was like, I know she cannot pay 2,500 for what? So blah 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 blah. No. But later I stood my ground, because it's not if I should reduce it, it will really, really pay me. Like I will have a lot of gain at least. But then I still stood my ground. I was like, I'm not going to just collect this because it does not worth it. So I stood my ground, and later she accepted it. So I think when we are determined, when we focus, when we don't let anything just move us, like don't be moved by the economy of the country, or just be focused, and your clients will come. They will come sooner or later. I remember when I just started my business, I was just sewing for free, kind of, because I was feeling like, I need little change and all. Then I have not really done branding and all. But you have invested a lot, you've done branding, your packaging and all, and then you're still going for less because of one economy situation. Or just let us be focused, and our clients will show. Sooner or later, even if they are not plenty for now, they will still be plenty. A lot of people will still come because your work is nice. It's superb. They will come. So let us be focused. Thank you so much.
I wanted to add to that. Kenny, that's great. I wanted to add to that. I wanted to share an experience. So at some point, there was this client that I was supposed to, so because I'm a service-based brand, right? I do designs, I do branding, I do events branding. So they wanted to do a seminar, and they asked for quotation. I sent them my quotation. Honestly, the quotation I sent to them was like double what is in the market. But when I sent to the even more than double, when I sent it to the person came back and said, I can't do business with you. And I wanted to know why. They said, you are too cheap. So what am I saying? Why am I saying this? I've said it. You need to understand your target audience. You need to understand their buying power. So know your target audience, fix prices. Yes, understand what the industry standard is where it comes to where pricing is concerned. Then because you are building a brand, you can now say, am I supposed to reduce it, or am I supposed to increase it? Don't fluctuate in your prices, I beg you. As much as you need to make sales, don't fluctuate in your branding. Let there be consistency. There was a time I told somebody, she sells food. I told her that today she was like, come and buy food, come and buy a meal, is 1.5. The next day she said that same food, the same package is going to cost like 300 naira less. And I asked her, why did you do this? She said it's because the number of people that are buying reduced. So she's reducing the price. I said, no, you don't do that to your product. You are creating an inconsistency in the mind of people, and you're making people price you cheap when there's no standard fee or minimum to which you can. So let people begin to know that if you're talking bag with me, my bag, XYZ type of bag starts with this price. People, you get to an extent or a stage where you've positioned your brand so that people cannot price you. It's a fee. People know it. They follow it because you are appealing to the right target audience. That woman might not be a target audience. That's why she feels that she can just what's it called? She can just price you anyhow and do anything that she wants to do and anything that she wants to do. And because she knows that when she cajole you, you don't have a position where your brand is concerned, you say, okay, remove 100 naira. And I beg you, if you need to give discounts, let the clients know that you're giving 10% or use percentage. Don't remove 100 naira or 200 naira from the money. Use percentage. Tell the person you're giving them 10% off the amount. And I'm doing this, give them a reason. Tell them I'm doing this because you're a first time or you are this or that. It is not the norm. Define things to your brand. Don't be scared to name prices. As long as you are positioned that way, your marketing is saying what it's supposed to say, your brand logo and everything is right. Don't be scared to call prices. Tell them if it's 1 million, tell them it's 1 million. If they tell you somebody else is doing it XYZ, you say, I'm sorry, I understand that you're at this point of me, there's English that I used to use for my clients. Over time, I'll tell you, I understand that you might not be able to purchase or afford this price now for this kind of value. But how about we remove XYZ thing from it and we can still do it for you at this particular price? You hear what the person wants to say. Not just jump on it and say, okay, let's reduce this stuff. Because in your head, you've calculated that I will make half of the money, 50% of the money is still profit and still something. No, don't do that. You will not be able to sustain a brand. You will not be able to sustain a business. You will not allow growth for your business. When you keep going back and forth with prices and everything, use your full chest to say anything you want to say. It's your business, it's your brand, you're growing it. Create the perception, even when it comes to pricing, create what you want in the mind of people. But ensure that as you're doing all these things, if you give a deadline of 2 days, please live to that, deliver in that 2 days. If you say you're going to do XYZ thing, do that. And again, I said something one time, down to your onboarding process. We know when anybody, so your onboarding process, how you onboard your clients, will give them a perception of if they can price you. So a client comes to you, you're a service-based client, and somebody comes to you and say, okay, Kenny, I get your number from XYZ person. The person referred me to you. I want to do a logo design. Oh, fantastic. Hi, I will ask you, who is the friend? What has the person told you about me? But I won't say it this way. I like to know because I want to know what the person has told you so that I know whether I need to recorrect or correct what the person has told you first about my brand. Let me establish my brand first before we continue the conversation of the brand. I'm not in a hurry to start giving you prizes. No. I want you to understand and experience. You need to, when people come to your business to make inquiries or to do anything, you need to create an experience. Even if they don't buy from you, right? I know that some people have made decisions because of how you were friendly with them, the way you gave them advice outside what they were even talking about, right? They're like, I trust this person. This person is somebody that I can do business with, right? So don't be in a hurry to start naming prices when people come to you. Yes, you've been waiting for the sales, you've been waiting for this, but calm down. If you give whatever you do with that person, when the person is referring somebody to you, the person will use that same experience. The person will tell you, just tell her it's 2,000 naira you have, she will collect it. Or price her, when you price her the fifth time, she will agree. So you need to be able to deliberately create something, create that experience that you want for your brand. Don't allow anything fly. If you need to correct anything, correct it. Don't be scared. It's your brand, it's your business. Perception is real. Allow people perceive the right things, the right experiences for your brand.
Wow. Mic drop. Boom. Wow, that's amazing. Well, Manzo, do you want to come in? Do you want to comment?
Yes, please. Kelly, thank you so much. Like I really enjoyed this, to be honest. And just to add, I know it might be out of the box, but when it comes to negotiations, to like negotiating for anything in your business, to your customers, to your vendors, to your suppliers, don't give them that perception of the fear of missing out kind of energy. Don't never give them that. Don't put yourself in a position when it looks like they are doing you a favor. I know sometimes,
Great.
you know, that 10 naira, 20 naira means a lot to you, but don't make it look like they are doing you a favor. Never. If you give them that perception, even to investors, okay, so why I say this is because I'm currently talking to, so I also have another agribusiness where we do irrigation and storage for smallholder farmers, and they want equity, right? They are bringing about $250,000, which is fine. It is a lot of money. Nobody's going to lie about that. But the thing is, don't never give that energy to anybody concerning your business that you are going to miss out on something. Because when you do that, it gives them more advantage. They want to take some advantage over your business. I learned this from a friend because it does negotiation a lot. When you meet a vendor, and even when we go to the local market, if you put your leg in a shoe and they know, they'll tell you, this shoe fits your leg so much, wear it, take it to your house. Immediately you make them know that you really like the shoe and you really want to buy it, they'll start calling price for you. And because of your emotions, you want to buy. So that is how it is. So even when we are talking to our customers, we know we need that sales. We know we have to close it. But regardless, try and close the sale. Regardless. But don't put yourself in that position where where they have the perception that you are, if I don't give this person this thing, no, the person is going to miss out. If I don't buy from this person, a business is going to crash. Your business will not crash. As long as you know what you're doing, your business will never crash. So don't allow your customers to have a hold over your business. But it happens in our culture a lot, because customers get to determine the price of some things. Especially for poultry, we really cannot hold on to our goods for long. But again, we need to understand the value that we are giving. If not, they'll keep playing us like a ball in the field, and it doesn't make any sense. We will not be scalable, we will not be sustainable. And for a business to scale, it has to be sustainable, and that is why we are here, and that's why we are thrivers, and that's why I'm so happy about this class, because it is also helping us. I know there's no way we'd go out of all these sessions, and when we are talking to our customers, when we're talking to our vendors, when we're talking to investors, our position is different. Our perception to things is now different. Nobody will come and start playing us as balls anymore. So we should just stand your ground regardless. Know your value proposition. That's what I always say. If you know the value you are giving. I remember when Dr. Ami said the way Americans, I can't remember if it's Americans or British people, pitch their businesses with confidence. Like, if you are not investing, please move. Like, they are not scared, regardless. They understand that everybody needs money, everybody needs the investment, right? But don't give that, don't allow anybody know that you are scared of something. Either you are scared or you don't want to lose them or anything. Please, yes, we shouldn't. Thank you.
In addition to that, right, please, business owners, learn to take your emotions off business. Most times, take your emotions off business, right? When you need to turn an offer down, even if you know that you'll be profitable, but it will not be good for your brand, please turn it down. Like, let me give you an example. I had somebody that was going to refer me for a job that was going to cost like $15,000. If you convert that to Naira, you know what it is. And I'm talking 2018, right? It was a multinational, and it was going to be a recurrent transaction. But the person insisted on 40% on markup. So I'm going to tell you a lot of mistakes I made from this transaction. The first was to genuinely tell the person vendor's cost. So I was going to do my part of it, but it will require production. And because I don't have the machine to produce, right? The reason I'm saying, because there are some people now, you're a fashion designer, somebody might give you a very large production to do, and you need to engage the services of other people, or you need to talk to other people. Don't be so nice and so, because the person is my friend, though, I don't want to lose the relationship, and this. You tell the person exactly the way it is in market. I did that. I told the person, this is how, I was sending the person vendor's receipts to the person. After I did that, Usually on my business, when I'm doing production, I will mark it up, right? Everybody knows when you're selling something, you mark it up. So for example, let's say I'm supposed to mark up 100%. That's easier maths to do. If I mark up 100%, because sometimes you might produce in production, when you produce something, there can be damage. You have to reproduce and you do everything. You don't have control over those machines, right? So the person was insisting that he wanted 40% on the entire sum of money, not on profits. If you do calculation, logistics is there. A lot of things is there. I know that if I had executed that project, right? Let's say the person gave me the actual 60% that he wanted to give me. If I executed that project, I'll still get a good sum of money. But it's not good for my brand. That's not how I want to start a relationship with that person. Because if I do that with that person, it's something that I would likely do with somebody else. Do you get? So what I'm saying is, make sure you take your emotions off something. Yes, I need that money then. I needed that money then, rather. But I needed to just back off because it's not good for your brand. It's not good for you. Don't sign some things. Please, don't bring down your standards because you want somebody to do, because you want to accommodate the price that somebody is offering you or the cost that somebody is offering you. Learn to say no politely to people. It doesn't have to be a yes every time. Say no, say no, say no. Those people eventually will start buying from you when they get used to your brand. When they see that you're offering value and you're living up to it, they will come and buy from you. They will tell and sing your praises. They won't go and tell people, see this girl, she's this, she's this, she's this. She will offer it too, but her price is XYZ, and she will not stand for me. But let people know you. Let people know your standards. Let people know what you cannot, what you cannot do. Let people know that your yay is yay, your nay is nay. Do you get? People should not be defining your brand or defining things for you. Define it. Let them roll in the boats. Create the boats. Create the paddle. Give it to them. Let them roll in the direction that you want them to roll. Right? That's around business process and every other thing and every other thing. That's it.
Wow.
So is there any other question?
Wow, there's one more question, and then I have a comment that I would need to spotlight later on. Wilson is asking, how do I choose a slogan for my brand? Like Nike, we just do it. What are the things I need to know to choose the right slogan for my brand? So this is his question.
So where slogan should be minimum of 2-3 words. 2-3 marks forwards. Don't have a sentence as a slogan. Slogan is, you can derive your slogan from what you exist for, what your business stands for, your brand values, and all those things, brand personality. You know, I already spoke about defining your personality from your personality, target audience, all those things. Just do it. It's because of the value proposition, what they are doing, because of what else? Their value proposition, their personality. That's why they can do it. Just do it. So your slogan should be something that evokes an emotion or expression. Do you get? So just do it. Taste the feeling. That's Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. Nike, just do it. And majorly should be adjectives. Adjectives are doing action words, right? Adjective. Yes, I'm correct. Yes, it should be adjectives. Right? Doing is consistent. So just do it. You're charging somebody to do something, right? So you need to understand, is your brand a motivational brand, right? And Nike is telling you, just do it. Keep up the work. Do what you're doing. So they are making an expression. They are telling you something. They are passing a message. Your slogan should pass a message. It should not just be a mere word that you just put there. And it should not just be cliche. Let it align with your brand values, what you exist for. It should be short. It should give a lasting memory and impression. It should align with everything, all your communication, what you're doing. Slogan should be short. Like I've said, it's like, and slogan is not a cast in stone when you're just starting, right? If you cannot get it right, you can evolve your slogan as you find new angles to your marketing, as you find new ways of doing things. You can change your slogan per time, but it should not be every time you're changing your slogan, because now you might not get it right because you've not gotten the entire picture of your brand. But if you can, good and fine, but slogan should be short. It should be very, very short, and use adjectives.
Great, great. Another question, sorry. What are the questions I can ask my clients to be able to size them up and know how to mark up my price or know if they are my target customers or clients?
Oh, okay. So basically, this applies for businesses that are not product based, right? You know, some products have fixed prices, so you cannot now start talking to the clients on this. But service-based product, when somebody comes to you, like I said, number one thing every business owner should have is an onboarding process, right? As much as you can, do not use WhatsApp for your conversation. I tell people, don't send questionnaires to your clients. If you're a service, call them, talk to them, because by talking to them, by hearing them, you can ask questions that from the answers they give you, you can ask them further questions. You can tell them, okay, I'll be practical, but I'm just trying to lay the foundation. Ask them further questions. Don't think, let me just say, ask stupid questions. No matter how stupid that question, as long as you're able to understand the person. Let me give you a practical example. Somebody is coming to me, the person needs logo design, right? I tell the person, I won't even answer you immediately because I don't want to create a perception of I am not doing anything, right? You are sending me, you're calling me now. You want me to answer you now. You want me to give you the logo design tomorrow. Abba, you're not my only client. Even if you are the only client I have at that time, I don't want to create that impression for you or with you. So I have an onboarding process. I will tell you, okay, can you schedule a time? Let's fix a time for XYZ time, what works for you, right? There's something I recently added to my business. And I feel because over time, a lot of businesses don't take you serious. They just come, you consult, you talk. So service-based business, right? So me, I just added recently that if you want me to consult for you, that meeting, right? To follow, I know that I'm not going to waste my time and my efforts. You will pay a sum first, which I will eventually deduct from you when you purchase my product or when you purchase my service. But I will not refund the money to you if you do not continue with what I am doing. So you need to have checked me up and know that, yes, this person is who I want to do my job. Do you get? So I'll try to tell you, okay, XYZ is what we do. This is what you should do. You pick a time, let's have a conversation on Zoom. Share me your email. Let's have a conversation on Gmail or something, or I can call you at a particular time. Let's know what works for us. So when we do that, that's the first step. Oh, you see, I'm not even jump to say, what do you want to do? What is the price? Even if I'm not doing anything at that time, I won't take that call. The day I promised to do the call, when I call you, I'm like, oh, how was your day today? Then when the person answers me, I'm like, oh, great, awesome. So the other day you were talking about XYZ. How can we do? What do you want us to do? Then the person start talking. Then I'll pause. I will allow you to talk. And I'll ask you, what have you been doing? Because it's design, right? Or you want to do a logo design? Let me use logo design, which is practical to all of us. So you want to do logo design? I'll ask you, oh, are you a new business or have you been existing before? So I want to understand, if you've been existing before, I'll say, oh, so that means you have a logo before. If the person says, no, I don't have a logo before, why haven't you had a logo before? I will know whether it's money, because of money, the person has not been able to do. I'll say, okay, so what has your growth process been like? What have customers been saying about logo? How have they been patronizing you? Then the person can tell you, oh, I've not been able to charge so much. I've been charging between 2,000 naira and 1,000 naira. Little by little, you're understanding what class the person falls into, what's the person purchasing power. Then you can ask the person, okay, why did you discover that now is the time for you to do a logo? If the person tells you, because I'm trying to go to a particular next stage, oh, you know, say, oh, fantastic. So what's your big goal? What's your big picture? Then the person will not give you numbers. When the person gives you numbers, you will not charge the person. When the person finishes saying a lot of things, you'll be able to tell the class or purchasing power. You know that the person can charge. If I charge the person 1 million, the person will grumble or the person will not grumble, like that. Was I able to answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, you were able to answer the question spot on. Yes, they said You did. Wow. Yes, you did. So I think the questions have been answered. Now, there's a comment that I just picked up on the chat. I know you didn't touch on this, but I think it's also very important for businesses because I think Dr. Victor Kuna said something. He said it is important that you have a system for ensuring that your team and vendors align with your brand. Because a lot of times, okay, you want to say something to that effect?
No, you can say, and I go after you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You are hosting.
I was saying something about personal branding, right? So down to what your staff wear to the office can also give an impression of what people think about your brand. Down to how they communicate with staff, how they pick calls with staff. So personal brand, I was saying, even you, the CEO, you need to have a personal branding, like rebrand for yourself. If you mean business, you need to have a strategy for personal branding. There are some things you shouldn't do. There are some places you should not appear. There are some things you shouldn't say. There are some things you should not accept if your staff do it. My staff cannot be wearing slippers to the office. Even if for now, my brand has not grown to that extent where we have 2 offices or something. So the relationship between your customer and your staff is very key. How they pick calls, how they converse with the customer, how they take in orders, how they package things, how they respond to feedback. Everything goes a long way. So personal branding is another chapter. It's a broad chapter that every business owner, if I'm not even business owner, every human being that exists needs to take personal branding seriously. So that's what I wanted to add to the conversation, to what Dr. Akuna said.
Wow, amazing. I think this has been a very loaded session. Just having a look at the time, and it's nearly 2 hours since we started. It doesn't feel like it, but I have taken a lot of value from this, and I hope all of the people listening in and all our attendees have actually gleaned a lot of value from this. So I just hope this is of value to you. Now, before we wrap up today, oh yes, they're saying yes, a lot of value, people are saying. So again, Manzo just picking up on her final comment, we all have to package ourselves and our businesses in yes, in a particular way. That's good.
Packaging, packaging of that conversation, no. Please, don't fake it, be realistic. Don't fake it, be realistic. A lot of people do packaging, like false packaging. Yes, package yourself, package your business, but be realistic with your packaging. Don't do fake it till I make it. No. But I understand what Manzo is trying to say. I just wanted to add this.
That's a salient point that you made. So don't fake it until you make it, and don't overpromise, because sometimes in packaging, you're trying to show what you haven't quite nailed in that sense. So you're overpromising your client. So thank you very much, Kenny Sobowale. I have deep love and I have deep respect for what you do. So you're not just the person who talks the talks, but who talks the talk, but you actually walk the walk. So thank you so very much. I've got a few hands raised, so I will just allow them to comment before I will give you time to share a few last words, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Yes, Manzo, do you want to come in, and then Eunice can come in?
Yes, thank you so much, Kenny. Like, this is, I didn't join it from beginning, right? But from where I joined in, it's a lot. And I can resonate to almost everything, like you said, everything that you said. And I know we've gained value. Just add to the packaging part, right? I've seen how it has helped jumpstart. Let me use myself as an example, right? Myself in the last 3-4 years, and that is not just packaging but positioning. I have already spoken with Dr. Amarachi that I am going to work on something, but I'm still going to do that very soon. It's just that my time is just somehow this period, but I'm going to do that because I have this conversation with my current boss, and she thinks I went to a private school. I did not. I went to ABSU, but because of how I have positioned myself, if I'm sending mails, like everything I do, I've already positioned myself or packaged myself to a standard that I want I want people to perceive me with, and it is real. And when as customers they come, they cannot downplay you. They cannot just come and tell you rubbish. Your customers cannot come and be doing anyhow for you. Your vendors cannot do anyhow to you. Your anybody that is coming in contact with you, as they have given that person some sort of position where they will continue from a mark. Um, Even down to our relationships and even with anybody around, there's always this boundary that we've all have set, right? So if you get to position yourself well as a person, people won't even associate themselves with you first before they talk of your brand. So when I always say something like, when people think of your name, what comes to their head? Like, if you talk about Ifeanyi Manzo, the first thing that people might want to think of is either opportunities or agriculture or things around that, and it is valid. So how do you want your customers to also perceive you? How do you want people around to perceive you? Let us start building ourselves that way, positioning ourselves that way. Like Kenny had said, there's some things that we shouldn't even find ourselves doing. Some conversation we should never have with anybody. And some people we shouldn't even listen to. Let's start saving out unconsciously. Like me, it happens to me unconsciously. I don't push people away from my life, but unconsciously they just move. And it is understandable because there's a level of growth that you get to have. You need people, the kind of people you need to pull you, and so some kind of people you need in your life that will speak for you. People will just say Kenny somewhere. Like Kenny is not even in that space, but people are speaking for Kenny because of what she has done, because of the kind of brand she has built, because of how she has positioned herself. So please, I feel we should all be doing that, and it's also going to resonate to how our customers see us and the kind of respect and the value and how they price us. You can't price anybody just anyhow. So let's position ourselves to that point where people, even when you want to consult for people like Kenny who does services, people will not just come and meet you and tell you, Madam Kenny, now please just run 220,000 naira service for me. It's not, they can't even hear you. Like they can't even think of it. Let's position ourselves to that extent where people will never want to downplay us or downplay our services or our product or anything. Yeah, so that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Manzo. I've got Eunice, please. Do you want to come in? You had your hands raised earlier. Before Kenny will give us her last words, and then we can wrap up.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm unable to turn on my camera. And I've been skeptical about speaking because I'm afraid of my network. But then it's fine. Like, I think I really value everything that has been said in this class because they're all true. Branding is something that I've looked forward to doing for myself, like on my Instagram handle, but I just keep postponing. But I think with this class, I'll try to start doing something about that. So thank you, Kenny. But then I just wanted to say, concerning your big clients and your small clients and knowing your price, right? Sometimes it's cool to actually sell a luxury product of 100,000 naira to 5 people than selling a small product of 1,000 naira to 200 people. It's totally cool. The profit is more obviously on the one you sold for 5 people. But then, like another thing, as a small business, for small businesses, getting that one luxury buyer or client who'll be willing to buy that luxury product for 100K is not always easy. In fact, working with big companies is not easy, but there's money in it. In fact, getting your first job with a big company or with a big client is usually not easy. You have to even get that first one, and that first one will then open doors for you to get other ones. But then when you're at that startup phase, I actually feel like it's cool to have products for those smaller people and then for the big people, because there's something that all the clients I've ever worked with, there's something they always keep asking. Can I see a sample of your products? Can I see a sample of the videos you've made? Can I see a sample of the content you've written? And because I've written content for people before, I can show something for it. But when you're waiting for that big client who is going to be willing to pay a big sum of money to get what you're selling, when that client comes and it's like, okay, can I see a sample of what you've done before? Sometimes, if you've never done something before, it's going to be difficult. So sometimes you can make use of those smaller clients to get the bigger ones. Not to come down on your pricing. You still know what, okay, even for this product that is my cheap product, there's still a minimum, there's a standard price that I will never go below. But I feel like for a startup business, it's actually cool to have that products for different kinds of clients for a startup business, because those luxury brands like Gucci, Chanel, Lamborghini, they start off with huge capital. I was reading something about ShopRite, and I realized that they ran a loss for so many years before they were making profits. They had the money to fund it. But as a startup, you may not have that kind of money. So, like, just my thoughts. Kenny, you can say something about it because you are the branding expert here.
Thank you. Over to you, Kenny, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
So, I want to add something to what Eunice said. So, as a business owner, it's important for you to understand your growth process, understand your phases, right? Yes, you might want to be a Gucci, but start small, but still be a Gucci that is small. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I understand everything that Eunice just said. However, some businesses don't want to position themselves as one that has variety. Some people just want to be, this is me and this is my brand. This is how I want you to purchase my brand. So what I'm saying is understand your growth process. You cannot just start charging 1 million now. You need to start gradually. When you're living up to your standard, when you're small, you are saying everything you say you're going to do, you are doing there. If tomorrow you say you're increasing your price to 1 million, nobody will fault you or drag you, because you are doing what you said you would do. You are living up to your promise, right? So there are some brands that naturally, they don't have variety. They don't have so many things that they are doing, but they just want to be that brand that I sell this and this is what I sell. That's the only thing I offer. I sell food. This is my food. This is the price I offer. Tomorrow they can come and tell you that we've reviewed our prices and we're now selling at XYZ thing. Yes, that's them. You can do that too. But if you're a service brand, right, and you want to also take this approach, you can deliberately, as the business owner, you can deliberately create prototypes. Nobody will ask you to go and bring evidence that it is a client that did the work, that you did a work for. No. When I started out in business, I'm a designer. I created dummy companies and I created awesome packaging and logo designs for them. If a client asks me for my work, I don't have to tell them I did it for this particular client in Oshobo. All they want to see is the result. I don't have to tell them, I don't have to expend a lot of energy to a lower client that will stress me. I'm just trying to tell you because you might want to do this or that. So this is another approach to how to get portfolio and a lot of things for service-based company or products, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. You can do your portfolio or something by yourself. Just do it on your own and start selling it out. Ensure that you know how to use the terminologies right. Learn to speak and write well when you're presenting your product. Learn to speak and write well. Don't just be that person that, because it's part of branding. I cannot be saying I'm charging XYZ and I'm not speaking up to that level. Do you get? That's why I said understand your growth process. For a particular stage, if this is all you can offer, let your charges be equivalent to your growth process at that time. Gradually, you grow, and you become that Gucci that you want to be, or you become that Apple that you want to be. I'm very sure that all these other client products, even those people that you see up there, every time they are reviewing something about their brand or the other. So branding is a lifetime thing. It's not a one-off. Personal branding, business branding is not a one-off. For entrepreneurs, for business, for human beings, it's gradual, it's continuous. That's it. So if I was drop I don't know if there's any other question.
Well, there's
or something
more.
someone wants to say. Can I just drop my last few words?
Yes, please, Kenny, take it away.
So what I will tell you is, it's good enough that you've learned a lot. If you do not practice it, nothing will change. Your business will still be moping at you. Your business will still be looking at you. So you need to gradually go back to your drawing board, write out all the things that you need to do differently from now as per your brand. You've learned a lot. you need to do. Okay, this I need to do. Phase it. You might not be able to do everything now, but phase it out. Say, okay, I want to deliberately do this, change this about my brand. Then when you get that and you master that, you do something else gradually like that for your business. Then another thing I'll say is make sure you strive to build a credible brand. It pays off. Do all what you can to make sure that you live up to every word that you say, everything that you put out there, you are consistent. Consistency doesn't mean every day. Consistency means anytime you show up, I am available. Anytime you see me or you see anything about me, I'm available. So just being consistent, be consistent. If you're posting content online, nobody says it has to be every day. Just ensure that you are living up to the standard, living up to the dream. Do all you can. Be credible. It pays off on the long run. Be credible. That's it. Get to work. I really look forward to seeing your brands.
Wow, amazing. I've learned so much from today. I don't want to keep us more longer than we already have, but Kenny Sobowale, thank you so much. We have actually gleaned so much value from this. So thank you for everyone who have joined in today. Those who are watching on YouTube, we want to appreciate you once more. This is brought to you kindly by, yours truly, Ami Grace Foundation. And please do follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Twitter, and even here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. And Kenny Sobowale is someone that we met on our iThrive Project 1.0, and she's been absolutely phenomenal. So I want to say thank you so much for coming, and to everyone, it's been a pleasure working with every one of you. So goodbye. Goodbye.